Hello and welcome to day 9 of training like a pro cyclist, training like a pro. A bit sweaty today, but I'm going to talk about that in this video, about sweating. Do you sweat more as you get fitter? Well, I've got hopefully about 4 hours today. I've set off fairly early, half past 8 in the morning, to hopefully avoid the rain. So I'm here in the UK and I'm making this series of videos for every day for 4 weeks if I can, and I'll be showing what is pro. So pro training, on this channel I specialise in sustainable weight loss, okay, and this is through the lifestyle that I recommend, which is the food and the bike. So food and cycling. So I recommend a high sugar, low fat, low protein. So which is probably what most people aren't recommending. And therefore, on this lifestyle, you don't need to count calories to be healthy. So the reason why you're being told, or pro training, is you need to count your calories. If you're eating lots of fat and protein, especially fat, this is the high calorie diet, okay? So on the foods that I recommend, you can eat as much of them as you want to feel full, eating to feel full. You get all of the carbs you need, all the healthy fats you need. And no, you don't need lots of protein if you want to be lean cycling, okay? So you don't want to eat like a bodybuilder. You want to eat like a lean cyclist. I'll be showing how many grams of carbohydrates I've had in the day, the recap at the end of the video, because I know people will want to know about how many calories and how much carbohydrate I had and my weight, because I know people like that sort of stuff. I usually promote sustainable health, so in my day-to-day I would never usually always be looking at my weight or worried about calories, because I've already said you can eat as much as you want on what I recommend. So I hope you enjoy the video. Like and subscribe, and you can check out other videos in the series if you want. I'll show you everything that I'm eating as well. You'll get an idea of what you should eat to be a pro cyclist. And the main thing is to have fun. That's what it should be. Have fun. Whether it's a bike, road bike, mountain bike, this is how you do it.
This is what I'm having for my breakfast. So I'm going to have this pineapple first. So it's perfectly ripe pineapple as well. This is perfectly ripe, okay? So you can see from the colour. And this is probably about 350, 400 grams of cooked white rice. And I've got my tomato sauce that I make, so it's got some herbs and spices in it, a few there, and it's got a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar for taste as well.
malt, and I've got about 150 grams of sugar in each. And with that, I also have some vegan gummy sweets, and yeah, I usually carry at least enough for 100 grams of sugar an hour. At least 100 grams of sugar an hour. So today, I've got at least 100 grams of sugar spare. I always hear that the fitter you get, the more sweat you produce. Well, I've been off the bike, or I was off the bike just a month or so ago. For a month. I always keep seeing in articles written about training for cyclists or for sport, I always hear, well, the fitter you get, the more sweat you produce. Well, you might be able to see from my face that, and my glasses, I'm very sweaty, but I'm not fit. So I was off the bike for essentially a month, basically a month. I didn't do any exercise because of injury. And now I've come back here in August 2025, and every ride I keep doing I'm drenched, and it's not because it's been really, well, that hot. It's not hotter than normal, but I'm sweating. Oh, I can feel it. I'm not usually absolutely drenched. So, and I always notice as well, people in my daily reality, when I see people who they're not cycling, it's just in day to day, maybe like going up a set of stairs, for example, one flight of stairs, people who are overweight and sick, well, I call it overweight and sick, essentially, if you're unfit and you don't do any exercise and you're overweight, people are like drenched, you know. So I don't know whether it's true, quite so true. I don't understand where it comes from, whether it's sports science studies or, because my eyes right now really sting a lot. Ow, it's like lemon juice in my eye. So that's what I noticed, is people who are unfit, they sweat a lot, and yeah, I feel like I'm sweating right now, or have been since I came back from injury. I'm sweating as much as I would if I was riding pretty hard. Oh, my eyes. So yeah, it's not very pleasant. So I would counter. I don't believe it really. I haven't really seen that, to be honest. And people who I've seen riding, who maybe I overtake, or maybe I meet someone and who's unfit while I'm out riding, and they ride with me for a bit, they get absolutely drenched. So that's my thoughts on it. That's what I've noticed. There you go. Does the hunt still happen here in the UK? Is it illegal? Well, there's your answer. Yes, the hunt still happens, and you might say, oh no, they're not really going to kill some things. Okay, there's reality, and then there's the one that you create. Okay, so the reality is, yes, people still hunt animals here in the UK for fun. Whether you think that's animal abuse or not, most people don't care about animals. But yeah, this channel's a vegan channel, and yeah, there you go, there's one reason why. So yeah, I see this killing out here in the countryside a lot. So people complain about, oh, the cities are dangerous, people are killing each other. Well, that might be true, but in the countryside, because there's not so many people kill animals instead. So there you go, there's the horror of some. This might be a beautiful place to ride your bike, but yeah, I see that a lot here in the UK. So yeah. Don't know what else to say, to be honest. It's horrible. Got my friends in here. there's forecasts for heavy rain coming. So in the UK, it's not a surprise. My friends here hiding in the trees. Nice little. I'm not sure what type of tree these are, but they know what's coming. Look at this. This is what humans would have done in the past, isn't it? Hiding in the trees. Don't know if you can actually see them in there. They are there, honestly. There you go. They're all sitting down, getting ready for the rain that's coming. Hello! I'm about 3 hours in now. So yeah, it's going to be about 4 hours. It hasn't started raining yet. No rain yet, but it's coming. So yeah, there's no intervals or efforts today. I don't really do intervals, to be honest with you. Learn about that, I suppose. But yeah, just aiming for hard, easy. So I've averaged around 200 watts at about 67 kilos this morning. Yeah, the road's on. The road condition isn't amazing. This is what I'm having for my recovery. So about half a kilo, more than that, maybe more than half a kilo of cooked pasta. Got some penne and fusilli, and then also I'm going to have this whole carton of apple and mango. This is the recap for day 8, training like a pro. So I did about 4 hours on the bike, 4 hours training, and I had about 100 grams of sugar an hour. So just in training, I had 400 grams of carbohydrate. So using mainly for 4 hours, about 300 grams of that probably was about. So I took two large bottles and 150 grams in each, about 150 grams in each. So yeah, mainly white table sugar. So I usually fuel mostly on white table sugar, and yeah, even the shorter rides. The shorter rides, if it's 3 hours, maybe up to 3.5, but definitely up to 3 hours, I wouldn't need anything else other than white table sugar. So white table sugar is per 100 grams is 100 grams of carbohydrate. Okay, so that's a 50-50 mix of fructose and glucose, which is great because you don't even need any insulin. Okay, so you don't need insulin for fructose. That goes via the liver, and the glucose, yeah, that breaks down. But you don't, while you're exercising as well, there's an amazing thing. There's a pathway which allows glucose into the cells through glucose transporters. So there's different types. So when you're not exercising, you can take glucose in through insulin. So insulin receptor site, and then that insulin binds to the receptor site, and that allows the glucose transporters to come up to the surface, and then glucose goes into the cell. But with exercise, there's a slightly different pathway, which means that insulin isn't needed. And that would be for another video, but that's why that's also great for type 1 diabetics, for example, for why cycling is such a good way to move your body. So if you're type 1, there's a good thing to know. And also I did take some gummy sweets, so I used gummy sweets as a backup. So sugar water is the main staple. So up to 3 hours you can get away with using white table sugar. And then yeah, just to vary it a bit, if you don't like the taste, you can add, for example, maybe Tailwind. There you got Tailwind Nutrition, SIS. I've used those products before. The High Five stuff it's okay, but I always tend to try to look for the ratio of fructose to glucose. Okay, so the best ratio is 1 to 1. Okay, it's 1 to 1. So I had about altogether about 800-900 grams of carbohydrate today. Well, I say today, I'm doing this as a recap. You can see my kit is different. So yeah, I had about 800-900 grams for day 8. And yeah, as I say, it's always about high carbohydrate, low fat, low protein. And that allows you to always keep those glycogen stores filled, which allows you to ride up the hills. So yeah, I was about 67.5 kilos for day 8. And yeah, I found that my weight when I ate fat, so just to remind you, as I was coming into the series, I had been injured. I was off the bike for a month essentially, did hardly any exercise at all, didn't even walk. It hurt walking, my groin injury. And yeah, I ate some fat coming in, more fatty foods coming into this series, but that's because I always say if you're already lean, so I was already lean, even without exercise, I remain lean. Okay? Even without exercise, I didn't get fat on the high sugar, low fat, low protein lifestyle. High sugar or high carbohydrate. And this is because, I've mentioned insulin already. If your insulin sensitivity is high and therefore your insulin resistance is low, you're less anabolic, so therefore you don't need to worry about having constantly elevated levels of blood glucose you don't get, and therefore you don't get elevated levels of the anabolic. So the presence of insulin in your body, as you increase your fat intake, you increase your insulin resistance. That makes you gain weight or makes you more puffy, retains weight because that's becoming more anabolic. So for cycling, if you want to be a pro cyclist, you want to be lean and healthy, then you don't want to be like a bodybuilder. Okay, so bodybuilder diet, what's that? High protein, high fat usually with that. So meat, for example. So meat quite often is what, 50% fat protein. So I recommend a vegan for the animals firstly, but yeah, as a result, it's usually, if you're sticking to the foods that I show, you'll see someone who eats like white rice, like for example Asian populations, they're lean, but they're lean, they're not big and puffy like a lot of people in the West who are eating high fat, high protein, wanting to get lean, eating more and more high fat, high protein, and then just starving. You starve yourself on the calories in, calories out model. Your weight just goes up and down and you're never lean. Okay, so I hope you enjoy these videos and you pick up, you're picking up information, that you can build into your lifestyle and lead a lifestyle of weight loss. So I live a lifestyle of being healthy and therefore a weight loss lifestyle. So I've lost weight to this point now in my 20s. So the fattest I was in my adult life was probably when I was 18. And now in my 20s, I live the lifestyle that is sustainable and have done now for years. So yes, I'm much leaner than I was when I was 18, when I was vegetarian. Okay, so I was vegetarian when I was 18 because, yeah, I think I had an idea about sort of how the world worked. But now that I've spent years trialing and testing as well what I read, you realize that, the scale falls from your eyes, and vegan, high sugar, low fat, low protein is always and forever will be the way to go if you want to be healthy. So if you want to train like a pro cyclist, you need to eat like a pro cyclist. And to get the best performance out of your body, being lean for cycling is how you get it out. Okay? So, yeah. You don't need to worry about being anemic or diabetic or your hormone balance because you don't get enough fat. You don't need to worry about being anabolic. So yeah, it's always about hormones, okay? So hormones tell what your protein needs to do, okay? So if you're anabolic, it tells muscles to build muscle, okay? So if you're catabolic, this is more maintenance phase, okay? So you just stay lean. So I hope you enjoy the video. Put any comments, questions, or criticisms in the comment section, and I'll see you for day 9. And yeah, I'm getting ready for training for the hill climbs. That's my goal. That I want to smash as hard as I can. And yeah, I'll be doing videos on that as well about staying lean and sustainably getting lean for climbing. Okay. So riding up hills on your bike is amazing for weight loss. It is the best way to move. Okay, so don't go to the gym and think you're going to get lean. Okay, the best way to burn fat, to get rid of fat, is by riding your bike up hills. Okay, so riding your bike up hills like over there. Okay, so yeah, this is the UK, so we have some hills, but yeah, nothing like in Europe and in America and South America and a lot of places around the world. But yeah, the weather's not been too bad. I'm still dry. I haven't been rained on yet. So let me know again, how many days can I get away with staying dry? Anyway, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.